leave the M1 at junction 37 and then take the A6 to 8, and after a few miles you'll reach the small village of Silkstone. Here you will find a pub called the Ring of Bells, which is where I grew up from the age of 6 until I was 10 years old. Centuries ago it was a coaching house, very necessary in them times as it was on the main drag crossing the Pennines to Manchester. Now it's a popular spot serving excellent pub food all day long. When I called in August this year 2011, it was my first visit for many years. Now under new ownership, the landlord was very interested when I told him I had moved here from Doncaster in 1952. Things were very different then, and it was a rude awakening for me to see colliers walking home after the day shift with their faces jet black, covered in coal dust, as there were no pit baths at the local pit. In them days it was the tin bath in front of the fire. Traffic is reasonably light through the village, as it is now annexed from the main trunk road. I remember when I lived there were only 2 or 3 cars in the village. My father's, the vicar's, and maybe the doctor's. This end view of the pub is where the stables once were, and above was my bedroom, which originally was the hayloft. Across the road they sold the famous Barnsley bitter, serious competition. But Mum and Dad had a secret weapon, music. My mother had led a very successful dance band during the 40s under the name of the Gladys Talbot Modernaires, recording, broadcasting and winning Melody Maker championships many times. Mum was a very accomplished pianist, jazz accordionist and vibraphonist, voted by the Melody Maker as the second Lionel Hampton of the world. So, with Dad on drums, the place soon began to tick, and musicians who were working in Manchester would call on their way through. As a young boy, I didn't realise that this would set the stage for me to become a professional musician as well. As a professional pianist and guitarist, having worked all over the world, I certainly have a lot to thank them for. And of course, the Ring of Bells as well. To the rear of the pub is a hill we call the Roggins, where we would play cowboys and Indians, and toboggan down it on flattened cardboard boxes. I still have a scar on my cheek where I overshot and hit a rock in the stream below. Running along the back of the pub is the old wagon road that leads to the main road and the woods, with Silkstone Church perched on the hill above. The 12th century Church of All Saints dominates the top of the village and is mentioned in the Domesday Book. It is said to be part of the manor of Cawthorne, where you will find the Cannon Hall. Well worth a trip. I remember stories of loyalists and roundheads, priest holes in the pub and hidden passageways. I don't know if they were true or just folklore. It was such a long time ago. Silkstone, like many villages in South Yorkshire, was a tight-knit mining community. The mines have gone now, of course, but there is a stark reminder of their danger across the road in the churchyard. This monument is dedicated to 26 children aged from 7 to 17 who were drowned in a pit disaster here in 1838.